Hey, nice morning. A little cool. Supposed to warm up pretty good. There's a thing going on in town next Tuesday. It's called the Makers Market. And some homesteaders set up, other people that make stuff. It's a Tuesday evening thing, so we rented a spot. And I do my best to not let anything go to waste. And I may have shown you these before, but I've been cutting cedar for the raised beds, and as you can see here on the front of the tractor, there's a lot of scrap. A lot of it's too small to use, but I use as much as I can. So I've been in here in the shop building these. Like I say, I think I've showed these trellises before. Now I've started taking, because my boards are usually pretty long, or my logs are, so the excess that I've cut off, I have started making some 40-inch tall trellises, and these are 6 foot. So like I say, I try to utilize everything I can. I've got this jig that I built, so it makes it a lot easier and a lot faster to assemble those. I got these plans from YouTube channel Matthew Peach, P-E-E-C-H, and if you have access to cedar or poplar, Osage is pretty hard, locust, you can get them to bend. My advantage is that when I have stuff come off the sawmill, it's pretty much green, so it bends a whole lot easier, and as it dries, it holds its shape. So there's really not that much tension on it, and it works well. But like I say, if you have access to stuff that you can cut down and rip down, these are really easy to make and pretty easy to sell. I'm also got some maple over here, and these will be, let me see if I can get this where you can see it better. These will be bread boards, since people making bread right now is so hot. People enjoying doing that I'll be making several of these to take. If I have the time, these, I guess you would call it an oven squirrel. Let me turn it around where you can see. Okay, so that shows it a little bit better. But this is for behind this ear, pulling an oven rack out to check something. This part is for pushing it back in. And I've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 of those made. It's just taking the time to sit down and sand on them, get them ready, because they don't really get anything special as far as a finish. I might use some mineral oil on them, but that's a few things we got ready. Okay, I scorched the edges, just hit this with some walnut oil. I want to come outside in some good light where you could see it. But it turned out pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna finish this video up. Excuse me. I had a request for Bluebird houses, so I'm making several to take to this little show we're gonna do Tuesday. And I'll show you real quick how to make these. There's one cedar. This one's out of mostly barn wood. This is from a old shelf I took apart, and I've got water-based blue dye that I use when I do an American flag, wooden American flag, which actually I've only done one. And this one's another little bit of barn wood that I ran through the planer. I'll leave this natural to just let it gray on its own. Got another one over here where I used a couple of thin pieces of cedar, left a live edge on it. And Kim took one to the house to keep. These are really pretty simple to make. They're actually very simple to make. These are based off of the Audubon Society plans. At one time I had these at the golf course where I worked. I had, I think, 26 houses I was monitoring. So this plan is based on that. I put a little bit steeper pitch on the roof. So my long point, 10 inches. Short point is 8 inches. So there's your angle on that. That's roughly a 19-degree angle. And you can put that angle on your roof, and it just makes it fit a little more snug. This hole's probably a little bit bigger. Audubon Society is like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, if I remember right. But like I say, they're very simple to make. This, you can have your backboard any way that you want. For mounting, excuse me, for mounting, if you want exposed screws, you can have them in here. You can play around like I did, and you can throw a arch top on there if you want. I've got these little nails in here at an angle. That keeps my door closed. It allows you to monitor the Bluebird house and the fledglings. This just swings open where I've got a screw for a pivot point. You'll see I've got 4 ventilation holes on here. I will put 2 more on this side and 2 more on the other side. So this backboard on this one is like 13 or 14 inches. So like I say, you can drill a hole and mount it here and from the bottom, or let me open this one back up. You've got the room that you could put a screw inside, 2 screws inside, and they're not exposed and not as likely for the wood to split out over time. The back is 6 inches wide. Like I say, about 13, 14 inches tall. My doors are 9 inches. It allows it to hang down a little below the Bluebird house, just so you can get your hand on it and swing the door open. Again, these are just 4-penny galvanized nails that are in there just to keep the door shut. So yeah, the door, like I say, it's 9 inches. It is this is like 3 7/8. You can do whichever you like. You could do that. You can go 4 inches. And I'll show you real quick the easiest way I have found to put these together. I'll take this clamp, pull this all together. Let me move it in just a little bit. Okay. And I make sure everything's flush. This one I gotta move just a little bit. Where's my mallet? So now I'm good and flush. I'll snug that up a little more, like so. Okay. This keeps my distance right between my side walls. I sit this on, and I just do this by feel as far as being even on each side. I get my back height where I want it. And again, I'll feel for that. Take a nice countersink bit. This bit works great for a lot of stuff. Oh, I gotta change bits. I gotta clean up is what I gotta do. So I use the first bit, or the first screw to secure it. See how that still feels. Grab another handful of screws. And the bit doesn't want to stay in my drill. So, can take my clamp loose, flip it over, pull the door out. I'm leaving the barn gray for the front of this one, with the blue walls. And by doing this the way I do, with clamping that at the back with the door in between and getting it flush with the bottom, I find that when I put my door on the front, I'm very even all the way across. So now, starting to warm up a little bit. Time to get my jacket off. what did I do? I put my door on upside down. That's what I did. Okay. I don't have to have anything special. Well, I take that back. Depends on what I'm going to make my roof out of. Let me grab a piece of scrap here. And what I do for marking where I want my screw holes. Where's the straight edge? I just take the thickness of my roof, set it right there, try to find a pencil, and all this mess, it figures. I've got 2 pencils, neither one of them are within sight. So back to what I was doing, I'll take just a flat straight edge, set it right there, and I come in about the same width as, the same from the front as down from the top, and make a mark. Lined up with my front door. Okay, I want a little bit more recess. So where my mark is a little bit closer to the inside, back side of the door. So I do move forward just a little bit to make sure I catch the wood in the door. Get rid of that, and I have my door that pivots open and shut, so you can keep an eye on the bluebirds or clean the box out after the baby bluebirds have left the nest. Okay, then I will take this countersink at an angle . Little galvanized 4-penny nail goes into that to keep the door shut. This is a piece of cedar that's going on this other house, but I'm just using it for this build. You can make this roof any way you want. Like I say, the angle's roughly 19 degrees, I believe, somewhere right around there. Mine is 6.5, I believe, by 6.5. And you screw that on. You get a measurement for your bottom. You drill your 4 ventilation holes in that bottom board. I usually put 1 screw here, 1 screw back here, and 1 screw on the side. 3 screws to hold that bottom in is more than enough. The back screw keeps it from pivoting forward or backward, holds it stable, but it doesn't need a great deal to hold it. And then I'll drill my vent holes up here, and that's about it. It's a pretty simple build for Bluebird house. This is the last thing I'm gonna be working on before we do this little show tomorrow. So I've got cutting boards, breadboards, fan trellises, Bluebird houses. Kim's got garden signs she's working on. Actually gonna have quite a bit to take up there and see how it does. Had another Homestead that they're getting ready to open a store. They contacted me yesterday and said they would love to have the stuff I make in a section of their store. So that in itself is really cool for me. They live in the next county over, so people that contact me for stuff that I have and that I make, I can refer them to Sugarfoot Acres, which would be a little closer for them and allow them to see what else that Sugarfoot Acres has to offer. So that's it for winding up this video and the stuff that we're getting together for this little show. I hope you enjoyed the Bluebird build. They're really easy. They're really effective. Bluebirds love them. Preferably 5 to 6 feet off the ground is where they like their nesting to be. Other birds will move in there, especially black-capped chickadees will move in there a lot. If you want to try to keep it a little more raccoon-proof, let me just find a block real quick. Something small. You could take something like this, cut it about as wide as that is, just square, drill you another hole in it. It makes the reach longer that it's hard for a raccoon to reach in and harm the birds. So anyhow, like I say, that's about it for this video. We got more rain coming tomorrow. Got a little bit of gutter work to do where I put in the rain catchment system down at the garden. Need 1 gutter hanger and a couple of rivets, excuse me, and a corner piece and reseal them. So loving that the weather's getting warmer. Got a little fire going, take the chill out of here this morning. And so time to start my day, and I'll get this video to y'all in a little bit. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your time with me.